بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
إنا أرسلنا نوحا إلى قومه أن أنذر قومك من قبل أن يأتيهم عذاب أليم. قال يا قوم إني لكم نذير مبين أن اعبدوا الله واتقوه وأطيعون يغفر لكم من ذنوبكم ويؤخركم إلى أجل مسمى إن أجل الله إذا جاء لا يؤخر لو كنتم تعلمون. قال رب إني دعوت قومي ليلا ونهارا فلم يزدهم دعائي إلا فرارا وإني كلما دعوتهم لتغفر لهم جعلوا أصابعهم في آذانهم واستغشوا ثيابهم وأصروا واستكبروا استكبارا ثم إني دعوتهم جهارا ثم إني أعلنت لهم وأسررت لهم إسرارا فقلت استغفروا ربكم إنه كان غفارا يرسل السماء عليكم مدرارا ويمددكم بأموال وبنين ويجعل لكم جنات ويجعل لكم أنهارا ما لكم لا ترجون لله وقارا وقد خلقكم أطوارا ألم تروا كيف خلق الله 7 سماوات طباقا وجعل القمر فيهن نورا وجعل الشمس سراجا والله أنبتكم من الأرض نباتا ثم يعيدكم فيها ويخرجكم إخراجا والله جعل لكم الأرض بساطا لتسلكوا منها سبلا فجاجا قال نوح رب إنهم عصوني واتبعوا من لم يزده ماله وولده إلا خسارا ومكروا مكرا كبارا وقالوا لا تذرن آلهتكم ولا تذرن ودا ولا سواعا ولا يغوث ويعوق ونسرا وقد أضلوا كثيرا ولا تزد الظالمين إلا ضلالا مما خطيئاتهم أغرقوا فأدخلوا نارا فلم يجدوا أبصارا وقال نوح رب لا تذر على الأرض من الكافرين ديارا إنك إن تذرهم يضلوا عبادك ولا يلدوا إلا فاجرا كفارا رب اغفر لي ولوالدي ولمن دخل بيتي مؤمنا وللمؤمنين والمؤمنات ولا تزد الظالمين إلا تبارا.
هر کسی بخواد با قرآن و اطرت متصل بشه از کانال حضرت زهراست. یعنی چی؟ ببینید شب قدر رو کی میتونه درک بکنه؟ درک شب قدر فقط بیدار بودن نیست. کی میتونه درک بکنه؟ درک شب قدر اینه که بیدار باشی ولو یک لحظه تو کل اون 7-8 ساعت شب، ولو یک لحظه متصل بشی به قرآن یا اطرت، متصل بشی. وگرنه کسانی هستن که 80 سال از عمرشون میگذره، شبای ماه رمضان هم بیدار بودن، یک شب قدر هم نتونستن درک بکنن. کسانی تو کل عمرشون ممکنه 2 شب قدر رو درک کردن. درک شب قدر چیز ساده ای نیست، به اندازه یک عمر آدم میره بالا، به اندازه یک. البته اینو عرض بکنم حتی اونایی که شب قدر هم درک نکنن ولی اون شب بیدار باشن، خدا یه چیزی بهشون میده، خدا دست خالی نمیگذاره. اما اون که لیلة القدر خیر من الف شهر، از 1000 ماه بالاتره، اون گیر هر کسی نمیاد. اون گیر کسی میاد که تو اون شب یه اتصال به قرآن و اطرت داشته باشه، نشونش اینه که از فردا زندگیش عوض بشه. اون کسی که فردای شب قدر همون کارایی میکنه که تا دیروز میکرد، این چطور میشه به اندازه یه عمر رفته باشه بالا؟ من برای اینکه معلوم بشه و وقتتون کمتر گرفته بشه، یه لحظه اتصال به قرآن و اطرت یعنی چی؟ یه عرب اومد تو مسجد پیغمبر گفت یا رسول الله من قرآن بلد نیستم، به من قرآن یاد بدین. پیغمبر دستشو گذاشت تو دست یکی از اصحاب، فرمود یه گوشه برید با هم قرآن کار بکنید. اینا با هم رفتن، یه چند دقیقه بیشتر نگذشت اون عرب تازه وارد از در به مسجد رفت بیرون. اون صحابی پیغمبر اومد پیش آقا گفت یا رسول الله این شاگرد ما خیلی کم حوصله بود. حضرت فرمود چطور؟ گفت آقا من یه سوره کوچیکو شروع کردم باهاش کار کردن، سوره زلزال، 7 آیه بیشتر نداره. رسیدم به اون آیه آخرش فمن یعمل مثقال ذره خیرا یره و من یعمل مثقال ذره شرا یره. رسیدم به این آیه. این آقا گفتش که این عرب تازه وارد گفت آقا اینی که خوندید مال قرآن بود؟ گفتم بله دیگه، داریم ما هم قرآن کار میکنیم. گفت منو بسه. رفت. آقا خیلی کم حوصله بود. پیغمبر فرمود رجع فقیها، رفت ولی همه دین رو گرفت و رفت. چند لحظه بیشتر، چند دقیقه بیشتر طول نکشید اما متصل شد به قرآن، تونست یه آیه قرآن تو وجودش هضم بشه. لذا پیغمبر فرمود تمام دین رو گرفت و رفت. من یه سوال ازت، این اتصال به قرآن، اتصال به اطرت رو از شما سوال میکنم. هور 2 ساعت به امام حسین متصل شد، درسته؟ هور از اون موقع که توبه کرد تا اون موقع که شهید شد، این 2 ساعت به امام حسین متصل شد. من از شما سوال میکنم این 2 ساعتی که به امام حسین متصل شد، این بیشتر هور رو برد بالا یا اگر بدون امام حسین 1 عمر بندگی میکرد اما هیچ ربطی به امام حسین نداشت و هیچ اتصالی به امام حسین نداشت، 90 سال اگر یه جایی برای خودش یه گوشه عبادت میکرد، این 2 ساعت بیشتر بردش بالا یا اون 90 سال؟ تردیدی نیست این 2 ساعت به جایی رسوند او رو جزو شهدای کربلا که امام صادق میگه تا قیامت هر کی به شهدای کربلا میخواد سلام بده که یکیشون هم هره، دست به سینه وایسه بگه به ابی انتم و امی، پدر و مادرم فدای همتون. ولو بزرگترین اولیاء خدا باشه به هرم باید اینجوری سلام بده. همون هری که تو قعر جهنم قرار بود جاش باشه 2 ساعت متصل شد به امام حسین، اینجوری شد. این اتصال به ولیه.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم إني أفتتح الثناء بحمدك، وأنت مسدد للصواب بمنك، وأيقنت أنك أنت أرحم الراحمين في موضع العفو والرحمة، وأشد المعاقبين في موضع النكال والنقمة، وأعظم المتجبرين في موضع الكبرياء والعظمة. اللهم أذنت لي في دعائك ومسألتك، فاسمع يا سميع مدحتي، وأجب يا رحيم دعوتي، وأغل يا غفور عثرتي. فكم يا إلهي من كربة قد فرجتها، وهموم قد كشفتها، وعثرة قد أغلتها، ورحمة قد نشرتها، وحلقة بلاء قد فككتها. الحمد لله الذي لم يتخذ صاحبة ولا ولدا، ولم يكن له شريك في الملك، ولم يكن له ولي من الظلم، وكبره تكبيرا. الحمد لله بجميع محامده كلها، على جميع نعمه كلها. الحمد لله الذي لا مضاد له في ملكه، ولا منازع له في أمره. الحمد لله الذي لا شريك له في خلقه، ولا شبيه له في عظمته. الحمد لله الفاشي في الخلق أمره وحمده، الظاهر بالكرم مجده، الباسط بالجود يده، الذي لا تنقص خزائنه ولا تزيده كثرة العطاء إلا جودا وكرما، إنه هو العزيز الوهاب. اللهم إني أسألك قليلا من كثير، مع حاجة بي إليه عظيمة، وغناك عنه قديم، وهو عندي كثير، وهو عليك سهل يسير. اللهم إن عفك عن ذنبي، وتجاوزك عن خطيئتي، وصفحك عن ظلمي، وسترك على قبيح عملي، وحلمك عن كثير جرمي، عندما كان من خطئي وعمدي أطمعني في أن أسألك ما لا أستوجبه منك، الذي رزقتني من رحمتك، وأريتني من قدرتك، وعرفتني من إجابتك، فصرت أدعوك آمنا، وأسألك مستأنسا، لا خائفا ولا وجلا، مدلا عليك فيما قصدت فيه إليك. فإن أبت عني عتبت بجهلي عليك، ولعل الذي يبطى عني هو خير لي لعلمك بعاقبة الأمور. فلم أر مولا كريما أصبر على عبد اللئيم منك علي يا رب. إنك تدعوني فأولي عنك، وتتحبب إلي فأتبغض إليك، وتتودد إلي فلا أقبل منك، كأن لي التطول عليك. فلم يمنعك ذلك من الرحمة لي والإحسان إلي والتفضل علي بجودك وكرمك. فارحم عبدك الجاهل وجود عليهم بفضل إحسانك، إنك جواد كريم. الحمد لله مالك الملك مجري الفلك مسخر الرياح فالق الإصباح ديان الدين رب العالمين. الحمد لله على حلمه بعد علمه، والحمد لله على عفه بعد قدرته، والحمد لله على طول أناته في غضبه، وهو قادر على ما يريد. الحمد لله خالق الخلق باسط الرزق فالق الإصباح ذي الجلال والإكرام والفضل والإنعام، الذي بعد فلا يرى وقرب فشهد النجوى تبارك وتعالى. الحمد لله الذي ليس له منازع يعادله، ولا شبيه يشاكله، ولا ظهير يعاضده. قهر بعزته الأعزاء وتواضع لعظمته العظماء، فبلغ بقدرته ما يشاء. الحمد لله الذي يجيبني حين أنادي، ويستر على كل عورة وأنا أعصيه، ويعظم النعمة علي فلا أجازي. فكم من موهبة هنية قد أعطى، وعظيمة مخوفة قد كفى، وبهجة مونقة قد أراني، فأثني عليه حامدا وأذكره مسبحا. الحمد لله الذي لا يهتك حجابه، ولا يغلق بابه، ولا يرد سائله، ولا يخيب آمله. الحمد لله الذي يؤمن الخائفين وينجي الصالحين ويرفع المستضعفين ويضع المستكبرين ويهلك ملوكا ويستخلف آخرين. والحمد لله قاصم الجبارين مبير الظالمين مدرك الهاربين نكال الظالمين صريخ المستصرخين موضع حاجات الطالبين معتمد المؤمنين. الحمد لله الذي من خشيته ترعد السماء وسكانها وترجف الأرض وعمارها وتموج البحار ومن يسبح في غمراته. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. الحمد لله الذي يخلق ولم يخلق ويرزق ولا يرزق ويطعم ولا يطعم ويميت الأحياء ويحيي الموتى وهو حي لا يموت بيده الخير وهو على كل شيء قدير. اللهم صل على محمد عبدك ورسولك وأمينك وصفيك وحبيبك وخيرتك من خلقك وحافظ سرك ومبلغ رسالاتك أفضل وأحسن وأجمل وأكمل وأزكى وأنمى وأطيب وأطهر وأسنى وأكثر ما صليت وباركت وترحمت وتحننت وسلمت على أحد من عبادك وأنبيائك ورسلك وصفتك وأهل الكرامة عليك من خلقك. اللهم وصل على علي أمير المؤمنين ووصي رسول رب العالمين عبدك ووليك وأخي رسولك وحجتك على خلقك وآيتك الكبرى والنبأ العظيم. وصل على الصديقة الطاهرة فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين. وصل على سبطي الرحمة وإمامي الهدى الحسن والحسين سيدي شباب أهل الجنة. وصل على أئمة المسلمين علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والخلف الهادي المهدي حججك على عبادك وأمنائك في بلادك صلاة كثيرة دائمة. اللهم وصل على ولي أمرك القائم المؤمل والعدل المنتظر وحفه بملائكتك المغربين وأيده بروح القدس يا رب العالمين. اللهم اجعله الداعي إلى كتابك والقائم بدينك. استخلفه في الأرض كما استخلفت الذين من قبله. مكن له دينه الذي ارتضيته له. أبدله من بعد خوفه أمنا. يعبدك لا يشرك بك شيئا. اللهم أعزه وأعزز به، وانصره وانتصر به، وانصره نصرا عزيزا، وافتح له فتحا يسيرا، واجعل له من لدنك سلطانا نصيرا. اللهم أظهر به دينك وسنة نبيك حتى لا يستخفي بشيء من الحق مخافة أحد من الخلق. اللهم إنا نرغب إليك في دولة كريمة تعز بها الإسلام وأهله، وتذل بها النفاق وأهله، وتجعلنا فيها من الدعاة إلى طاعتك والقادة إلى سبيلك، وترزقنا بها كرامة الدنيا والآخرة. اللهم ما عرفتنا من الحق فحملنا، وما غصرنا عنه فبلغنا. اللهم المم به شعثنا، واشعب به صدعنا، وارتق به فتقنا، وكثر به قلتنا، وأعزز به ذلتنا، وأغن به عائلنا، واغض به عن مغرمنا، واجبر به فقرنا، وسد به خلتنا، ويسر به عسرنا، وبيض به وجوهنا، وفك به أسرنا، وأنجح به طلبتنا، وأنجز به مواعيدنا، واستجب به دعوتنا، وأعطنا به سؤلنا، وبلغنا به من الدنيا والآخرة آمالنا، وأعطنا به فوق رغبتنا يا خير المسؤولين وأوسع المعطين. اشف به صدورنا، واذهب به غيظ قلوبنا، واهدنا به لما اختلف فيه من الحق بإذنك، إنك تهدي من تشاء إلى صراط مستقيم. وانصرنا به على عدوك وعدونا إله الحق. آمين. اللهم إنا نشكو إليك فقد نبينا صلواتك عليه وآله، وغيبة ولينا، وكثرة عدونا، وقلة عددنا، وشدة الفتن بنا، وتظاهر الزمان علينا. فصل على محمد وآله، وعنا على ذلك بفتح منك تعجل وبضر تكشف ونصر تعز وسلطان حق تظهر ورحمة منك تجللنا وعافية منك تلبسنا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين، والصلاة والسلام على خير خلقه سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد، والصلاة والسلام على خير خلق، والصلاة والسلام على أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين، ولعنة الله على أعدائهم من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين، ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. صلوات. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. Brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's a pleasure to be with you again. Shahr Ramadan Mubarak. And for the Eid that is fast approaching, likely to be on Sunday from what I'm hearing, Eid Mubarak to each and every one. But let's not just rest on hearing that it's supposed to be Sunday or that it might be Sunday. Let's make our effort to actually go out tomorrow evening, inshallah, and attempt to sight the moon. I mean, it's quite strange. I've already started getting calls from people around the country wondering if tomorrow's Eid, right? And it's not possible that tomorrow can be Eid. Just want to make this as a public service announcement. Just for the record, new moon was this morning at 10:30 a.m. So if new moon was this morning at 10:30 a.m., it's impossible for the moon to be sighted this evening. And so therefore, forget about the fact that it's only the 28th day of fasting. Therefore, it's impossible to see the moon this evening, and thus impossible to be Eid tomorrow. The earliest Eid might be Sunday, but inshallah we'll go out and look for it also, inshallah. So, with no further ado, as-salawat, so we can begin. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So as you know, we've been talking about this test of envy in regards to Imam Ali, alayhi salatu wasalam. And along the course of our discussion, we've been giving some examples from throughout the life of Imam Ali, alayhi salatu wasalam, which not only prove his enviable position that was granted him by Allah and by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but was envied by some of the people that were there at that time. And we want to make it clear too, like, I don't want anybody to get the idea that this test of envy was then and now it's done, right? And now there's no more test of envy. We're still tested with envy in regards to Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam. This is why you see some people would prefer you to spend your money to go on a European vacation than to go and do Piyade Ravi and walk between Najaf and Karbala, as an example, right? Why would some people even have a problem with you going for ziyarat? Envy of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wasalam. Today we're still faced with the test of envy in regards to Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam, but not directly, but in an indirect way. Yani, what were the goals and aims of the life of Imam Ali? What's the legacy of Imam Ali? And so in this arena also, we're tested. And you can see it, like we were alluding to it last night, right? Remember last night when we were talking, we were saying that sometimes the things that Prophet Muhammad did, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it seemed like he wasn't trying to attract people. Didn't we mention that? Like some of the stuff he would do, it seemed almost like he wanted to chase some people away. Like in his mind, he had it like, look, these guys are no good. Let's do something to completely turn them off. So inshallah, vilemun mikonand. They'll just leave us alone and quit and just disappear somewhere. Prophet frequently turned up the heat when it came to this test of envy in regards to Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam. Last night we mentioned something that was really important. And I just want to recap it real quickly before we move on for this evening. Send a salawat, please. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. So last night we wanted to bring forth this hadith of Amir al-Mu'mineen, Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam, where he related really the position of envy in regards to Prophet and how it carried on to him. Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam said, Kullu hiqdin حقدته قريش على رسول الله أظهرته فيا. Every resentment and hatred, envy that the people of Quraysh held against the Prophet Muhammad, then they held it secretly in regards to Prophet Muhammad, then they exposed it in regards to me, says Ali alayhi salatu wasalam. Every hatred or resentment that they held secretly towards Prophet, towards Rasulullah, azharathu fiyya, then they made it known towards me. وَسَتُزْهِرُهُ فِي وُلْدِ مِنْ بَعْدِ. And this hatred and resentment will be shown even more in the case of my successors and my children after me, says Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam. And we also mentioned this other hadith from Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam, where someone comes and asks Imam Ali, "Oh Ali, if Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam had had a son and had appointed that son to be his successor and inheritor, would Quraysh have accepted him and submitted to him?" Now you have to understand where this question is coming from. People are saying that Ali, you're just the nephew of Prophet. And in the mind of this person, the questioner, he's saying, maybe the problem that the people had with you was because you weren't the son of the Prophet. Maybe you weren't close enough. Even though Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam was the son of the Prophet, raised in the Prophet's home, trained by him, as we've discussed, throughout his life. So this person says, if Prophet had a son and he had appointed him to be a successor and inheritor, would Quraysh have submitted to him and followed him? And Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam says, no, they would have killed him, even if he did not do the things that I have done. And here Imam Ali alludes to something that we want to discuss for a minute here. We mentioned it briefly last night, where people think that one of the reasons that this envy was there for Imam Ali, that this hatred had developed towards Imam Ali, was because of his sword. And that's what Imam Ali is alluding to in this statement, even if he had not done the things that I have done. Imam Ali alayhi salatu wassalam was known by this sword of his. When they first came out, one of our teachers was telling us, when they first came out with this picture that you see now, right, of Imam Ali with the sword in his hand, some people did i'tiraz against that. They complained against that. And not because of the artwork. I mean, you can see someone come and say, what's this? A picture of Amir al-Mu'mineen. This not how he looked. And there could be a legitimate basis for complaining on this thing. Like we don't make pictures of the imams or of living things. This is not how the imam look, and so on and so forth. Now, their complaint was, why did you put a sword in the hand of Imam Ali? Are you trying to change the image of Imam Ali in our eyes? Why have you drawn him with a sword in his hand? And there's a reason why Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam is frequently pictured with this sword, why his sword Zulfiqar has become such a symbol even until today, is because Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam, in the early history of Islam, became very well known on account of his sword. I mean, and we had promised to talk about this a few days ago. We'll just run over it very quickly for this evening, right? I want to remind everybody, the champion of Badr and Uhud, the two first battles in Islam, right? The champions of these battles was Hazrat Amir al-Mu'mineen Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib and Hazrat Hamza Sayyid al-Shuhada, the uncle of Prophet. These two were well known in the enemy's army especially, but also by the Muslim army. I mean, it's reported in history that Ali and Hamza would fight side by side. As I mentioned earlier in our discussions a few nights ago, that Ali was actually trained in swordsmanship and in combat by Hazrat Hamza, his uncle. Hazrat Hamza ibn Abdul Muttalib, right? He was trained, Imam Ali was trained by Hazrat Hamza. These two, when they entered the battlefield, whether it be at Badr or Uhud, they were side by side. And history testifies to the fact that they would attack the enemy with such ferocity and move into the enemy ranks with such vigor that they would go far ahead of the rest of the Muslim army, would actually be cut off from the rest of the Muslim army. And the way that the rest of the Muslim army would be able to find Ali or Hamza is by the sound of them saying Allahu Akbar as they killed another enemy. Like how the Muslim army would sound out where Ali and Hamza are. They'd say, wait a minute, listen, Allahu Akbar. Aye, they're over there. Allahu Akbar. Yes, they're definitely over there. Allahu Akbar. Let's go. They're over there. Because these guys were killing machines, dispatching the enemies of Allah to the fires of hell. Now, Ali being the champion at Badr, at Uhud, at Khandaq, at Khaybar, repeatedly, in every battle, in every skirmish. We mentioned a few nights ago the raid of Zat Salasil, right? In every major military encounter, Ali was at the front. Ali was in the lead. And so for this reason, he's become known by his sword. And many people have made the mistake, as we mentioned last night, to say that the hatred that was aimed at Ali, that was held in the people's hearts towards Ali, was simply because of his sword. And this is not the case. As we mentioned last night, the people envied him long before this, based on the position that Allah had given him, that Prophet had established him in. And the swordsmanship became an excuse later on for them to rattle on and say, well, you know, it's not that he's any better than us. It's not that his qualities were so expounded by Prophet. He killed so many of us, and that's why we don't like him. Hide, and the envious will frequently do this. They're envious of you for whatever reason, but they're not going to come forward and say, look, we don't like him because he's better than us. We don't like him because he has this quality that we're envious of. Now they're going to come forward and say, you know what? We don't like him because he's an angry person, a serious person, a person that's difficult to deal with. And these are all the things that they said about Imam Ali also. They also said he's very khashmigin. He's a very angry person. And the interaction that we have with Amir al-Mu'mineen Imam Ali, does he strike us as someone who's filled with anger? No. But tonight we'll talk about that a little bit, this position of Imam Ali alayhi salatu wassalam. At the forefront of every military expedition was Imam Ali alayhi salatu wassalam. And as a result, he became known by his sword. But this sword is not the reason why the people envied him or hated him. The test of envy is a great test. It's a humongous test that humans have to undergo. And it's nothing new. It's not something new in the history of human beings. It's one of the central tests that Allah administers to the human being. Just like we mentioned, arrogance is something that Allah wants rooted out of us. Envy is something also that Allah wants rooted out of us. And for this reason, we see throughout the history of divine revelation the test of envy with Iblis and Adam, with Cain and Abel, with Hazrat Noor and his Safina, with Hazrat Ibrahim, Sarah and Hajar, with Joseph and his brothers. 124,000 prophets, and in each case they're tested with the test of envy, until we come down to Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and Imam Ali alayhi salam. Again, the test of envy. And these aren't just stories. I don't want anyone to think that these are just stories that we're reciting, that we should just run over them and miss the central theme. The central theme here is that envy is a very dangerous sin to be hidden in the hearts of human beings, and Allah wants it rooted out of our hearts. And it's a test that we must endure in order to, insha'Allah, be free from envy. So Allah and Prophet had given Imam Ali a status that was enviable. And the test only intensified after that. Allah causes Imam Ali to be born in Kaaba. Prophet raises Imam Ali. Imam Ali shows all of these just divine qualities that he has. Just human qualities at their perfection. And this incites the envy of those people around them. But then here comes Prophet to intensify that test. And this is something that we can't lose sight of. Prophet was not content for us to just be under an easygoing test, a light test. He intensified that test for us. Test upon test. So we mentioned one example a few nights ago, just to remind you of it, maybe you didn't catch it. One of the tests that Prophet had for the people, right? What was one of the central messages of Islam? It was against tribalism. And Islam came and really downplayed the tribalism of the Arabs and tried to show that we are unified not by blood and tribe and clan, but by ideology. And this is what Islam was bringing to the Arab people. In fact, what made them powerful, what was able to unite them so that they could go on, the Arab nation could go on to achieve the things that they would achieve later on, right? In the name of Islam. Right, because it wasn't, but in the name of Islam, right, is because of this unity that was granted them by Prophet Muhammad, where he said, look, you're not different tribes anymore, you're not different clans anymore, don't fight with each other anymore, we're unified, we're one ummat with unity and wahdat in tawheed, in the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Prophet's preaching this to them, right, but at the same time, he's favoring his family. I mean, do you see the test? Every member of Prophet's family that's killed, they get a special designation. Hamza Sayyid al-Shuhada, Ja'far al-Tayyar. Every member of his family gets a special title. Fatima Sayyidatun Nisa al-Alamin. Hassan and Hussein Sayyidiyya Shabab Ahl Jannah. So while he's telling them unify and forget about tribe, the test for them now, he's saying, yes, forget about tribe, but this is my family. And it's a huge test for the people. It's a heavy test for the people to undergo. Send us salawat, inshallah. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Khair. It's test upon test. This test is also intensified by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He's not content to just let Ali's qualities speak for themselves. He also speaks very highly of Imam Ali, gives Ali lofty positions. We mentioned a few nights ago that when the complaints against Ali intensified, at that point, Prophet starts telling the people, now say salams to Ali. Assalamu alaikum ya Amir al-Mu'mineen. When the complaints intensify and people are really showing their envy towards Imam Ali, Prophet gives him an even higher status now. Prophet says, look, now you say salams to him, Assalamu alaikum ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, and made people do it in his presence. I mean, you can't imagine the test that these guys were under. Or the other night when we mentioned that when Prophet said, the next person to come in the masjid is like the example of Jesus, the son of Mary in my community. These things excited the envy in the hearts of these enemies. To the point where, as we mentioned, they started saying we were better off worshiping idols because we couldn't be envious of idols. And even Quran says that, where they say, are our gods better or is he, meaning Ali? Yani, is Hubal and Lat and Uzza better or is Ali? And we know for a fact that Ali is superior to these idols. So Prophet, by his own actions, also excited this test for these people. And the test was also excited by Ali alayhi salatu wasalam, by himself. Ali's own characteristics intensified the test of envy in the hearts of the people. One thing that's known about Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam was his serious steadfastness in obeying Hazrat Rasulullah. I mean, I have something here written for you. I kind of tried to translate it as best as I could. We'll mention it in a minute. People actually went to Prophet and complained to Prophet about Ali's strictness in following the Prophet's commands. We mentioned an example a few nights ago now, right? Where when Imam Ali was sent to collect the zakat from the people of Yemen, two of his companions took some of the fabric of that zakat. And, in those days, clothes didn't have a whole lot of stitching to it. These guys put the fabric on and started to wear it. And Ali was so upset with them when he saw them with that fabric on. I mean, the riwayat says, the hadith says that Ali took the fabric off of their backs right then and there and commanded that it be put back with the rest of the zakat. And nothing should be touched until they reach to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Ali's stance in carrying out the orders of Prophet also excited the envy of the people against him. When the people would come to Prophet and complain to Prophet against Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam, the Prophet would say, don't complain against Ali. Innahu khashanun fi dhatillah. He only gets angry for the things that are Allah's, in the path of Allah. Don't complain to me against Ali. Don't come. And you see, where he says, Innahu khashanun, it's the same khashin that we talk about in Persian, This anger. People used to complain to Prophet about Imam Ali's khushunat in carrying out the commands of Hazrat Rasulullah. And it's perhaps this, and today khushunat, and in Persian it has a certain context, right? It has a certain meaning in it, like, that kind of wild and wahshi khushunat. We're talking about that steadfast seriousness that cannot be sidetracked, that Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam, this quality that he had in carrying out the commands of Prophet Muhammad. People would complain to Prophet about that, this attitude of Imam Ali's. But you have to understand, Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam was always given the most difficult task. I mean, let's be honest. If Prophet had to wait for the rest of the community to grow and develop to the capacity that Ali had, Islam would have never been established. The Islamic State would have never been established. No progress would have ever been made if Prophet had to wait for the rest of these guys to catch up. And so for this reason, Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam was always tasked with the most difficult task. Here I have a little hadith that I've translated for you. Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam says, there was no one at that time who could take my place in accomplishing these numerous tasks. So this is where Imam Ali starts. Look, at that time, there was no one who could take my place, says Imam Ali. In doing all of these things, there was no one who could do them. And he goes on to list a few of them. Confronting the champions of the idolaters. He puts that one first, right? It's like he's reminding people of his position. You know, it was the tradition of the Arabs that whenever they gathered for a war, for a battle, then the initial skirmish would be between the champions of each side. The best fighter on that side would come out and face the best fighter on this side. I don't even have it in my notes, but you yourself, you know it already. You go and you look at the Battle of Badr. Go and you look at the Battle of Uhud, how it started out. Who's up front? Ali ibn Abi Talib. Hamza. They're up front. They are the champions from the Muslim side confronting the champions from the idolaters' side. So Imam Ali says he was given those tasks. No one else could have accomplished those tasks in his time. And he starts out listing some of them. He says, confronting the champions of the idolaters, capturing the most difficult fortresses. You see, Imam Ali is listing out some of his accomplishments. Numerous generals were sent to capture Khaybar. Each of them returned failing. It's only when Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam is sent that he's able to, with his bare hands, tear this door off of its hinges and then carry it as a shield into Khaybar to shield himself from the blows while he conducted warfare with his sword. After the battle, and this is just a reminder for all of us ordinary human beings out here, right? After the battle, they say Imam Ali cast the door aside. And when the people came to try to move that door, right, it took 40 of them to move it, right? Afterwards, they asked Ali, how did you move this door? Was it the strength of your body or something else? And Imam Ali says, it was the strength of my ruh. Yani the strength of my ruh, my spirit, not the strength of my body. I bring this up just to say, you know, in riwayat, in ahadith, it's mentioned that at the zuhur of the imam, at the reappearance of the 12th imam, the believers will have the strength of 40 men. The believers will have the strength of 40 men. We're not talking about hit the gym and work out hard. We're talking about that inner strength of the believers that in times of need can be brought forward. And this is just an example of the strength of the believers that can be called forth at the time of need. So Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam, he says, no one could have taken my place. No one could have done the things that I had been doing, confronting the champions of the idolaters, capturing the most difficult fortresses. Whenever there was a difficulty that the Prophet faced, or a hardship that he encountered, then he would always say, Aina akhi Ali, Aina sayfi, Aina rumhi, Aina mufarrij ghammi an wajhi. I'll translate those for you. He says, whenever a difficulty was faced by the Prophet, or he encountered some hardship, then he would say, where is my brother Ali? Where is my sword? Yani meaning Ali. Where is my neyze, yani spear? Where's my spear? Where is the one who can take the worry away, my distress away from my face? Imam Ali goes on to say, the others were not engaged in any hardship or in any battle except that they ran away. Allahu Akbar. Here Imam Ali says, first, there's no one who could have taken my place. He explains his position with Prophet, that whenever Prophet ran into any difficulty, he called for Ali first. Can you imagine how this burned people that so desperately wanted to be his advisor? So many people wanted to sit at the side of the Prophet so Prophet could take their advice and tell them what was going on, and maybe they could give some help in what was happening. But Prophet, whenever he encountered difficulty, he wouldn't turn to them. He'd say, where's my brother Ali? he'd start looking around and say, where's my sword, Ali? Where's my spear, Ali? Where's Ali, the one who can take the distress from my face? And this is the position that Ali held in the heart of Prophet Muhammad. People saw that he relied on his cousin more than he relied on them. That he relied on a young man who, in Arab tribal custom, was really a nobody. That Prophet relied on this young man more than he relied on other people who may have been older, more well established, maybe even had some kind of respect in the so-called community. Yet Prophet always turned to Imam Ali alayhi salatu wassalam, and he says those others were not engaged in any hardship or battle except that they ran away. And you can see this from the earliest history of Islam also. How many of these companions denied Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam when they came under pressure by the Meccans? How many of them, when confronted with the embargo at Sheikh Abi Talib? Yes, Bani Hashim was embargoed, but you'd think that if you loved Prophet, you couldn't sleep in your own house while he would be sleeping in the caves and in the mountains. Yet you look at some of these companions, when Prophet is going hungry so that the children of Bani Hashim can eat in Sheikh Abi Talib, they were living in the comforts of their own homes in Makkah. And at the Battle of Uhud, some of them ran away so far that they passed Medina. Baba, how you got so scared that you ran past your house? Usually people get scared, Baba, they run home. You had to really be scared to run past your house. You run past your house, and then you didn't show up back in town again until 2-3 days afterwards, because that's how much you got lost. Imagine it. Can you imagine the terror that overcame them, that they ran past their house and Baba got lost? Allahu Akbar. And Imam Ali alludes to that. He says in every hardship that they fell in every difficulty that they fell in, nothing happened except that they ran away from that test and from that challenge. And we can continue with some examples. You go and you look in the lists. We have, one thing about Islam, one of the beautiful things about Islam, it's different from the other Tawhidi religions. Islam is born in the full light of history. So from this point of view, if these wacky Wahhabis weren't destroying the historical sites, but there was a time when we could go and see the house of Khadija. There was a time when we could go and see the house of Rasulullah. There was a time when we could go and see these places from history before our eyes. It's not like Judaism or Christianity that's kind of a part of antiquity, where historical sources aren't all that clear. No, Islam is born in the full light of history and well recorded, well documented. Now you go. Pick the 3 or 4 most popular companions that you can think of, and then go and search and see who they killed in battle. I'm going to tell you now. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Combine, and 3 we can't count him either because he was kind of an old man already. But let's just go with these first 2. Put them together with all of the battles that Islam fought in their presence. Put both of them together and you still got a big fat duck egg. 0 people killed. With both of them put together, add them both of them, 1 and 2, put them together, how many people you killed in battle? 0 still. And you can see now why, when the time comes for the people to stand up and support Imam Ali, why he's abandoned. I mean, just one little quick story since we're here, right? Number 2 says to number 1, right? that look at all the stuff I've done for you. Look how I made the situation so smooth for you. Now you've attained riyasat and khilafat. And the first one replies to the second. He says, you didn't do anything for me. You didn't do anything for me. We were lucky with two things. This to show you what's going on politically at that time and where the people's hearts are towards Imam Ali. He says number one is telling number two. We were lucky in two cases. Number one, no one likes Ali ibn Abi Talib. This is what he says. Number one, no one likes Ali. Number two, Ali will never disobey the command of the Prophet. What was the command of the Prophet? If you can't find supporters, don't resist. These people were secure. They knew no one loved Ali. They knew that the people disliked Ali. I mean, to show you how even later on in life, right? We're not going to talk about just the period of death of Hazrat Rasulullah, just to allude to something later on. You've read it in Nahjul Balagha for yourself, where Imam Ali frequently says, I wish my people were united on haqq, like how Muawiyah's people are united on batil, right? I wish that my troops were united on the truth, like how Muawiyah's troops are united on falsehood, right? Something that I read today, they say that in Muawiyah's camp, the people were pushing Muawiyah to fight against Ali. The people were doing that in Sham, in Syria. Were pushing Muawiyah to fight against Ali. In Ali's camp, Ali was pushing the people to fight against Muawiyah. Yani in Muawiyah's camp, the people are excited against Ali. And in Ali's camp, the people are not excited to go and face and to fight Muawiyah. Yani it's completely an opposite situation. How did we get here? What happened that we ended up at this state of affairs? That Ali, who has all of those qualities, that high position granted him by Allah and by Messenger, that he should be hated and envied to such an extent, certainly he gained enemies for himself because of this sword of his, and it didn't score him any political points. You have to understand tribal politics of that day. Why was it so easy for people to accept the first two and reject Imam Ali? Because not only that they were envious of him, but these two had no blood on their hands. They had no blood on their hands. They hadn't done anything to smash Quraysh in the mouth. They hadn't done anything to destroy idolatry. They hadn't directly done anything to upset the social equilibrium that existed at that time. Nah, they were just followers. They went along for the ride. If you listen to some of our teachers, they'll tell you that maybe these guys never accepted Islam. That it might have been all a ruse from the beginning just to attain riyasat, just to attain leadership. Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam is in this position not just because of his sword though. He's in this position because of the envy that the people had developed towards him. Khair. When we look at the condition of Imam Ali amongst the people coming towards the end of Hazrat Rasulullah's life, Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam was living a very isolated life in Medina. And to show you this, right? Before his death, Hazrat Rasulullah, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, tells Ali, Ali, after I'm gone, if you can gather around you 40 men, then resist. And if you cannot, then do not resist. Be patient. It's recorded that Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam called out to the people of Medina on very many occasions in these 2-3 days leading up to this. after the death of Hazrat Rasulullah, and enjoined them that whosoever wishes to join him, then they should shave their heads, which was a symbol in that day that, we're ready to die. Like when you shave your head clean, now that is a symbol that we're ready to go, right? Shave your heads and meet me at the masjid with your sword. For 3 days, Ali made this call. And for 3 days, the same group of maybe 5 to 8 companions of his showed up. The same usual suspects, Abu Zar, Miqdad, Mar Yasir. These known companions of Imam Ali. For 3 days, Ali couldn't gather not 40 men around him. And this is to show you the life that Ali was living in Medina in the lead up to Prophet's death. Because it's not that Prophet's death has stripped him from supporters. It's not that the Prophet suddenly died and no one wants to support Ali. It's that Ali was isolated and lonely long before this. That the people were already having that envy in their hearts towards Amir al-Mu'mineen before the death of Hazrat Rasulullah. To the point where Ali couldn't gather around him anything more than those few followers that he was known to have throughout history. These same ones that were called by Prophet his Shias. And Prophet termed these companions of his the Shia to Ali. And no one else supported Ali. When Ali would go to the people and ask them, you heard what Prophet said at Ghadir, they'd close the door on him. When he'd press them and say, I know that you people in this masjid heard Prophet say this, the people would get up and walk out. The envy of Amir al-Mu'mineen was on that level. So when confronted with this test of envy, our people failed it. And I say our people because it's not just a test for that time and to say, it was Quraysh and they failed the test. We are suffering today because we as a community failed that test. The Muslim world is in turmoil today because at that time, we as a community failed that test. And when in this present era, we are faced with the test of envy again, bil khusus, and especially in regards to the Prophet's family, to the Prophet, to his family members, and bil khusus to wilayat Amir al-Mu'mineen, then we have to be careful that we don't fail the test again. That when we, in our growth in the religion, are confronted with this issue of wilayat Amir al-Mu'mineen, the authority of Imam Ali, that we don't fail that test of envy, of hatred, of misguidance again. So very quickly, we'll finish this discussion here then. One of the things that we should be very cautious of is what they call aghabat bikhair. I mean, in Persian we know what it means, right? Aghabat bikhair, to have a good ending to our life, right? The Urafa, the mystics in Islam say that at no point in our lives is aghabat bikhair guaranteed. Yani Urafa, they are living in a state of caution concerning aghabat bikhair to the very end of their lives, to the last breath of their life. They are concerned about aghabat bikhair. Did you know Ibn Muljam was one of the followers of Imam Ali? A lot of people think like Ibn Muljam was a Khawarij and he was an enemy of Ali from the day he was born to the day he died. Nah. Ibn Muljam was one of the followers of Amir al-Mu'mineen. And that too, if we're to believe what the scholars say and what's written in the history books and what's written in riwayat, he was a very devoted follower of Imam Ali. He was present at the battles against the Khawarij. We call him a Khariji, but he only became a Khariji afterwards. I want you all to understand this. It's not that Ibn Muljam was right away and from the beginning an enemy of Imam Ali. What turned Ibn Muljam? What caused him to change? They say that after, I want to say it was the Battle of Nahrawan. After the Battle of Nahrawan, where Imam Ali confronted the Khawarij and completely crushed them, there were at least 2,000 bereaved families left, right? Ibn Muljam was a supporter of Imam Ali up until the point he heard the crying of the orphans of these slain people who Imam Ali's army had killed at Nahrawan. When he heard the wailing and lamenting of those orphans, then that's where he failed his test. You see, it's one thing to be a follower of Imam Ali and just hang on by your fingernails and by the skin of your teeth, like Ibn Muljam was doing. So that now when the test of these orphans should come, these orphans crying should come, this is where Ibn Muljam turns and becomes a Khariji. Becomes one of the Khawarij because of the crying of the orphans. He was in the camp of Imam Ali. I mean, even you've heard this story before, where he comes to Imam Ali and speaks to Imam Ali, and Imam Ali says, "You'll kill me." And Ibn Muljam says, "Me? Never. Abada, I'm your follower, your lover. I'm here in your army. Give me a horse. Help me out." He was Payriqab Imam Ali. Huh? But Aghibat Bikhair is not guaranteed to everyone or to anyone. That we should hold on to our faith to the last breath of our life, it's not a guarantee for anyone. Let's look at the difference between people who are good and the difference between people who are bad, and we'll finish here for this evening. They say that when Hazrat Muslim ibn Aqil, when he was killed, the first thing that Imam Hussein did was to go to Muslims' children and family members, tribesmen, and calm them, show love to them, calm them down and make them feel better. This is something that Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam, that he took very seriously. Perhaps that they had learned it from Prophet. And there's no doubt. You know, when Hazrat Khadija alayhi salam, when she passed away, Hazrat Fatima alayhi salam was maybe about 3 years old. And they detail in hadith, in history, that one day Hazrat Zahra was standing, like children often do of that age, holding on to her father's leg. And she kept saying, "Aina ummi, aina ummi, where's my mother, where's my mother?" And the first few times that she asked that, Prophet didn't answer her until Jibreel came and said, "Answer Fatima. Tell her that her mother Khadija is in Behesht, she's in paradise with the nearness of Allah. She's in a paradise of the nearness of Allah." Because I want to make it clear, I even read this twice to make sure that she's not in paradise right now. She's in paradise, in the paradise of the nearness to Allah. Because we don't believe that everybody goes directly to paradise right away, right? You go into Barzakh. Anyway, long story short, Jibreel tells Prophet Muhammad, "Calm down, Fatima." And Prophet holds Fatima, caresses her and tells her, yes, your mother is gone to be near with Allah. She's very happy and Allah is very pleased with her. And in this way, he's able to calm down Fatima. And even Fatima's even able to accept and says it, that I understand that I won't see her anymore. But Prophet's able to calm this young girl down. This is, when we talk about good people, people who have qualities that are solid in them, right? This is an example of that. Qualities that can't be shaken out of people. And it doesn't matter how outwardly pious someone might be. It doesn't matter how seemingly religious someone might be. If they have envy and arrogance hidden in their heart, then you can see what their end will be. Those who took Imam Hussein's family as prisoners, were they Muslims? I mean, today we'd be tempted to say no, but technically they were Muslims. When the daughter of Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam is crying in Sham for her father, no one comforts her. These people don't come to her and tell her, calm down, it'll be okay. Nothing. What kind of envy, what kind of hatred must you have in your heart that for a 3-year-old girl like Ruqayya, that instead of calming her down, what type of hatred do you have in your heart that you go and you bring the head of her father and then show it to her? The family of Hazrat Imam Hussein was there, and it's as though they could not act to shield Ruqayya from this sight. And when the head of Imam Hussein is shown to Ruqayya, what is going through the mind and in the heart of that guard? Who would do such a thing? What kind of hatred do you have inside of you to do this? Ruqayya lets out one scream and falls down on the floor unconscious. And they say that it's a broken heart that led to the death of Hazrat Ruqayya. ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم ولعنة الله على قوم الظالمين آمين رب العالمين. We ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala should have mercy on our souls, forgive us of our sins. Ya Allah, guide us to your straight path, set firm our feet in your path, strengthen our limbs in your service, and hasten the appearance of your Imam, and make us his helpers and supporters upon his return. ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. صلوات اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وجل فرجه. If there's any questions or answers, please feel free to send them in now, inshaAllah.
All right, the first question that was asked is, generally when people are exposed to facts that go against their ideas, they put up a wall or they shut down. In your experience, when discussing the leadership of Imam Ali and the Ahlul Bayt with our brothers and sisters of other sects, how do you present this information without having them shut down or get defensive?
I found the easiest way to discuss this is as we had mentioned, I think a few nights ago, that this thing has always been a family issue. And this is the easiest way to approach this issue with our Sunni brothers and sisters without a whole lot of argument. Because Quran and Hadith and Islamic tradition show that religion, prophethood, wilayat and wasiyat have always been a family issue. And so, for instance, you had Adam, who was inherited by his sons. His first son who was to inherit him, Habil, was killed. But he had other sons that inherited him, including Seth, is one of his sons, I think, that came after him. You look at, for instance, Hazrat Noor. It was a family issue. It was Noah and his family. You look, for instance, at Ibrahim and Sarah and Hajar, the 12 tribes, Yusuf and his brothers. It's always been a family thing. Musa and Harun, Dawood and Sulaiman. Isa and Yahya were cousins. Yahya introduced Isa. He was the forerunner of Isa. And they were cousins. Why are we so willing to accept that religion has always been a family issue until we get to Prophet Muhammad? Now all of a sudden we want to say, no. Now it's not family. Now it's just friends. This doesn't make any sense. This goes against the sunnat of Allah. And so I found that this is one of the easiest way to bridge this conversation with our Sunni brothers and sisters. But you know what? Sometimes they don't want to hear it. Sometimes they're not interested in hearing it. And my advice to our brothers and sisters is don't push it. What has become clear to us will, inshallah, become clear to them. Yeah.
The second question that's asked is, did any of the companions of the Prophet have any titles such as Master of the Youth of Paradise or other titles that we see?
I know for a fact that some of the close companions of Prophet Muhammad and Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam, that they got some titles, right? Like Abu Zar was known as the Zahid, the abstinent one, the one doing zuhud from the community of Prophet Muhammad. He was known as this, right? Salman Farsi, he was given an honorary title as a member of Ahl Bayt, like, he was called like as a member of Ahl Bayt. So yeah, some of these companions did get titles, but for instance, some of these titles that you may be alluding to, or that we may be thinking of, like, I don't know, As-Siddiq, Al-Faruq, the Sword of Islam. Wouldn't that Yahoo's his favorite title? Khalid bin Walid, which is really, he's a criminal in the history of Islam. He was tasked with killing Amirul Mu'mineen. And how did he get the title, the Sword of Islam? Allahu Akbar. These titles are fabrications, and they were given to them by their own peers and their own degenerate friends, and there's no basis to many of these titles that these other people were given. I don't know how much more I can answer it than that, but yeah, some companions, and bil khusus, those companions of Imam Ali, of Prophet Muhammad, some of them did get. Hanzala is another one that I forgot to mention. Hazrat Hanzala, newlywed, that went to do battle without the ghusl, and he became a ghasila bil jannah, right? Hanzala, the one who was given ghusl in paradise. So some people did gain these qualities and these titles out of their inner qualities. But some of these titles were quite dubiously given, and we have doubt in them. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
A question that comes in is in modern times, what is the role of technology and social media in supporting Islam?
That's a good question, because one of my personal beliefs about social media or technology or any of these things is that we as Americans, we have this technology at our fingertips. And a lot of the things that we have here and that the blessings that we're enjoying here, people in other parts of the world don't have or can't enjoy. And as a consequence of our wealth and our technology, I personally feel that we are divinely obliged to use this wealth and technology and opportunity that we have to serve Islam by these means. Yani, as many of you who listen to me regularly may know, I believe that, of course, in American exceptionalism, and it's not just because I'm an American, the sun will rise from the west. That means Islam will rise from the west. And I personally believe that it is people like me and you and everyone in the audience who have access on this culture and this technology and this wealth that will cause the sun of Islam to rise from the West and to spread Islam and an Islamic movement to the rest of the world. So what's the role of technology in serving Islam? As much as we use it, and we should be using it as much as we can with the technology and wealth and opportunity that we as Western peoples have at our fingertips, inshallah. It's our destiny. There's just no other escape for us. There's nothing else for us to do. And if you're not doing that, then hijrat is probably better, right? I want to make that clear. This is my personal belief, that if you're not here working towards that, then maybe you should go live the easy life in a Muslim country, Yeah. Next.
The question that comes in is, why did the Khawarij need to be suppressed at the cost of support for Imam Ali's Khilafah?
Okay, so these two things are two different things, right? We have to understand, number one, the people never wanted to give Khilafat to Ali ibn Abi Talib. Those who were in charge, right? Those who were the ruling elites at that time. They never wanted Ali to attain the Khilafat. That the only reason Ali attained the Khilafat was because the elites lost control of the situation when Uthman was killed. And a lot of us don't look into this, right? We think like Uthman was killed like, some isolated incident. It was an accident. No. Muslims rose up in Egypt, came to Medina, surrounded his house, and then jumped the wall from the neighbor's house to kill him. In this chaotic atmosphere, the people could only think of Ali to save them. And so they kind of thrust the Khilafat on Ali. Khawarij had to be put down because if you understand their ideology, if you understand the ideology of Khawarij, it makes them an exceptionally dangerous group. This slogan of theirs, which is taken completely out of context, La hukmun illa lillah, that there is no rulership except for Allah, it's really anarchism in the disguise of piety. And Imam Ali, and indeed no government, and indeed no righteous government, could allow an army of thousands advocating anarchy and uprising against the legitimate, and not just legitimate from the point of view. Imam Ali was the only one who was ever elected, quote unquote, by the people. The rest of them were never chosen by the people. Only Imam Ali. And these people are rising up not just against a government that's quote unquote chosen by the people, but that's sanctified by Allah. And so they have to be put down. And Ali's Khilafat was in tough position even before he took control. So much less if we have to deal with the Khawarij or whatnot. Yeah.
In dua, it's mentioned that Allah will give Imam Mahdi alayhi salam aman after khawf, or amn after khawf. What kind of khawf is being mentioned here? Could you explain this, please?
Well, according to my understanding of that, and I could be wrong, and if anyone has any insights on that, they're welcome, but I don't think that we're talking about the safety of the Imam or the khawf of the Imam. I could be wrong. The way I've always interpreted it is that we're giving him amna after khawf. Yani now the Muslim community is living in fear. And as time goes on, it's going to increase to where we will be living in a very turbulent and unsettled time. And that amanat that will come after that will be the zuhur of the Imam. Again, I could be completely wrong, but the Imam, I don't suspect that he's living in any fear today except trepidation for us, right? Imam is very concerned about our condition, but like today, Trump don't know who the Imam is. Like the FBI do not have a picture of him. He could come now and kick Pence in the tail, and Pence would not be able to identify him. There are no enemies now that can say, there's the Imam, let's get him. He's not living in fear now, right? In fact, he's living a whole lot more secure than you or I are. But that's my little tahleel on it, and I can't say if I'm correct or incorrect. That's my little interpretation. Maybe Sayyid has some input on that. Oh, now you don't got nothing to say, huh?
One more question. I just did the Q&A. So one question which is being asked is, how is it possible for the wives of the Prophet to leave their house? I think this is in reference to perhaps the battle of the camel. Didn't the community of Medina know better after years where they had basically not led any campaigns, or they had not really left?
Didn't the community of Medina know better? Clearly they didn't know any better. Clearly they knew absolutely nothing better. Because when their prophet died, they were all caught up at Saqifa of Bani Saida instead of burying the prophet. Go and look at the history and see how many people were present at the burial of the prophet. Like, Baba, maybe a dozen? Maybe? So, the people of Medina should have known better. In regards to what? In regards to Aisha leaving her house to go and fight against Ali? At that time, many of the people were supporting Aisha. Many of the people at that time were saying that definitely Ali is hiding and keeping safe the killers of Uthman. When all Ali was saying was, hey, we'll punish these guys, we'll put them on trial, but let's calm down the situation here so the state can function a little bit. Nah, they wanted to hype the situation up. Aisha would carry around the bloody shirt and severed fingers of Uthman to excite the people against Ali. The people of Medina should know better. I wish I had a bulbud to go through Medina and lash them one by one. They were misguided from the day Prophet came until the day Prophet left. Now they was probably, a great many of them were probably supporting Aisha. So khair, next question.
Were people allowed to go to the burial? Was it an open burial?
People were allowed. To my knowledge, people were allowed, but people didn't show up because of the fear and trepidation and unease that existed in Medina at that time. And these big companions sure as heck didn't show up because they were talking politics while Prophet was being watched and buried.
So, another question which is being asked is, there's a hadith that the Prophet, he compares Imam Ali's relationship to him like the relationship of Aaron to Moses. Yes. Did the prophets, before the Prophet Muhammad, have a similar issue on envy where, for example, people were tested in regards to envy in regards to previous prophets?
Definitely, most definitely. And Prophet, it's very telling that Prophet likens his position with Ali to Musa and Harun, just to throw it out there for you, right? Prophet Musa was not just a prophet that brought a book, but also like a military commander too, like a statesman. He held temporal power also. And so in this way, the comparison lines up between Prophet and Musa. When Musa goes on the mountain, right, to get the commands of Allah and to do his time up there, the people beat Harun. I mean, let's throw that out there, right? Like when they went to go make their golden calf, right? And Harun stood up against them, Aaron stood up against them. Y'all know Harun was beat senseless, right? That Musa came back down and found Harun like in a tough shape, right? Harun was beaten up by his community, when he tried to stand up for the religion of Musa. So Harun's position again lines up pretty much with Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam. That the minute that the Prophet was out of distance and wasn't around anymore, then they did with Ali as much as they could do, like what they did with Harun. Yes, every other prophet faced this test of envy in regards to himself and in regards to his successor. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, it's what, something like 70 prophets buried under the Kaaba? Something like 70 prophets buried under the Kaaba. Look, these cats used to kill prophets left and right. 100 blessings on envy. But he got a little envy in his heart. People used to have envy in their heart and kill the prophet. Out of these 124,000 prophets, Quran says most of them you killed or beat or chased away. Very few of them were like, it's a prophet, come and guide us. Most of them were beaten up, exiled, treated roughly, thrown out of town, just treated horribly. And that's why when you see these people on TV today talking about they prophets, they lie. If they're not getting beat up and thrown over and chucked down and stepped on, they're not no prophet.
And the final question that was asked is, was there ever any conspiracy to kill Imam Ali alayhi salam as a result of this envy or this jealousy that people felt?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. They wanted to kill Ali on numerous occasions. One we alluded to this evening in the discussion, where these guys, some of these big companions, paid this one Khalid bin Walid, the Saiful Islam, to go and kill Amir al-Mu'mineen. And Khalid was the only one kind of half crazy enough to do it because he was misguided and he thought he was a tough guy too. But he would have found out the wrong way because what happened was they called it off. They got in touch with him at the last minute, in touch with Khalid at the last minute, said, hey, don't worry about it, call it off, right? But Khalid was the only one stupid enough, to my knowledge, to give it a try. And that's just because he was stupid, right? Everybody else who this idea entered their head, then they had to think about Imam Ali's performance at Badr and Uhud and Khandaq and Khaybar and so on and so forth. That this is a man who cuts people's legs off in a single stroke, who is fully capable of cutting a man in half in a single stroke. So this being the prowess of Imam Ali, not many people had the intestinal fortitude to attempt to assassinate him. And the only person who, to my knowledge, ever was tasked with such a deal, and he was just because he was stupid, was Khalid bin Walid. Yeah. That's it. Khair, inshallah. We ask that Allah should have mercy on our souls and guide us to His straight path. Dua, inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك توعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.